Ladies and gents, here I am. Ah, man, I swear down. I know I'm a little bit late sometimes, well, most of the time, but I did really. I'm actually sweating. I thrashed myself in the gym and I felt so good. I kept going and going and going. And then I got back and I had like 10 minutes to get ready. And I rushed about and I had a shave because I thought I'm all sweaty and I've had a dead hot shower. It's a good time to do it. And then I fucking spilled me tea when I was like jogging across the kitchen because I slipped on a wet patch and smashed my big toe in. So basically, I'm in rag order. I'm in rag order today. Apologies, but I did have a shave, and as it's the last day, the working day of the month, I also ritualistically shaved my scrotum, which is a tradition in the Taylor household. So I've done that. Happy days. Right, now let's figure out some news, shall we? This again, as if there's 250 of you in here, you're not getting a fucking name check, are you? I'll do the bottom 10. I'll spoil you fuckers. Gordon Coles is in. He's an ex-para. Nice to see someone's in who has a real talent for eating crayons. We'll use the American insult, seeing as we haven't really got one for the paras, have we? There's a sort of cruel stereotype that they're stupid, but I'm not having it. After working alongside the Royal Navy, I refuse to believe that a sailor's got more sense than a paratrooper. Mike Wilson's in, Tony Keogh, Che Wilson, Mark Thompson, JVPA, Davy Boy the Codhead, New Fish, Trev Ragnar's in, Samuel L. Saction, Winston Smith and Richard Eric. Right, how are you doing? Oh, my bastard toe's killing me. Proper knacks stubbing your big toe, doesn't it? Knacks. Turn up with the poor excuse. I don't really need an excuse, do I, Andrew? Because I'm not a bootneck. I'm not a serving bootneck anymore. So, A, you can't thrash me till my eyes bleed, whether or not I've got an excuse or not. And B, it's my show and it's free. So you can suck on it. How does that grab you? I don't need one. You're not the Sergeant Major now, fella. The Raz man isn't going to thrash me senseless till I'm bleeding out my arse, is he? I can do whatever I like. I can do whatever I want. I can turn up 20 minutes late with a beard and my cock out. Yeah, that's how it works in Civvy Street. I fucking love it. No, Richard Erickson, I do not ritualistically shave my testicles. I believe that's off the first Austin Powers film. I don't even know. I think it is. I was simply quoting a film. I don't ritualistically shave. What is it? He's like, there really is nothing like a Sean Scrot, I assure you. Right. Anyway, let me have a sip of this half a mug of tea. Oh, it's meant to be a pint. Bootnecks need pints of tea, right? This is why I like this Spider-Man mug. Spider-Man might be a black disabled Muslim lesbian now, but I still like the mug because it's a pint, right? Roll a lesbian. Have you seen the new Spider-Man? Joking aside, in fact, just because I've said that for a laugh, I'm going to find you the picture because you lot who don't keep your eyes on the ball with regards to like pop culture, the older ones of you, you probably aren't aware of some of this shit. But I still keep a toe in because I collected comics for like 20 years when I was a kid. I started when I was about 10. My dad took me to this comic shop in Middlesbrough because it was a good egg, really, for a miserable old bastard who never told me he loved me. My dad's a good old bloke, really. He's just northern. So, the occasional beating and gruff words were all I ever got from him. But when I was a kid, I remember when I was about 8, my nana got me for Christmas a compendium of comics. And I really loved it. I think it was the first time I was like 7 or 8 when I read a proper Marvel comic. It was, one of the golden age of comic books, really, because it was probably one of the first decade of Amazing Spider-Man. So I told him how much I liked it, and he took me to this comic shop in Middlesbrough that I didn't even know was there. Little tiny shitty one called Forbes Building. It was in the back there, books and comics, and he got me some Spider-Man comics. And ever since I was about the age of 10, I collected them, and I had thousands by the time I got to about 30. And I mean, I bought them very sporadically when I was a serving bootneck because I'd just get a slack handful of ones I really wanted to read, and then I'd take them home with me whenever I went on leave. But I had a couple of thousand by the time I ditched them all when I was in my sort of mid-30s. So I keep a toe in, and I don't buy any because it's woke, but I like to read current story arcs and that, just to confirm that I was correct to stop buying them. And there really is now a disabled spider on crutches. Here's the link. Look, just so you know, I'm not bullshitting you. Sun Spider Earth 20023. So because they do this unoriginal multiverse thing now, just gives them endless. It's bollocks in it, really. It's spoiled it because you can just kill a character off, and then there's no tension because you know they'll just bring them back. They'll go, yeah, that was multiverse, and bring another one in. Pop. Who cares who we kill? But that's a real thing. Look, from she's called Charlotte Webber. That's unoriginal after Charlotte's Web, obviously. And she's got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which affects her joint and connective tissue. So because of that, she uses a wheelchair and crutches for extra stability. And her crutches are equipped with web shooters. So you really have got a disabled spider woman. I joked for years about black disabled spider lesbian, and you really have got disabled spider lesbian. I think the only thing she isn't is black, if I'm correct. But you really have got disabled spider lesbian now. So all the stuff that I say, I do like that word, and I don't understand why Americans have never used it. My dad just says raspberries, as in raspberry ripple, from the Cockney Rhyme slang. He's a fucking raspberry, the cunt. Yeah, great that, innit? Disabled lesbian spider woman. Nice one. Love that. How the fuck would you fight crime when your legs don't work? I mean, you could probably do quite a good job with if you had super, enhanced speed and strength like Spider-Man does. But I reckon if your legs just didn't work, I reckon I could get you with a chain gun. You know what I mean? You just set like an ambush with about 10 blokes with Uzis. And as soon as disabled spider lesbian came down, you'd fucking put 600 rounds into her crippy legs, wouldn't you? Easy. Fucking easy. So that's ridiculous. Just so you know, all the things Bootneck says in jest, like I said that about 3 years ago? I think probably about 3 years ago when I first started my channel, did I first use the phrase, probably in regards to the police or the fire department. We no longer have a police force. We have a black disabled lesbian police force or whatever. And now it's a thing. Disabled lesbian spider woman. So there you go. Brilliant. Love that. What news have we got? Secretive Saudi executions leave families in the dark. No, you can't slag them off, lads. They're followers of the religion of many, many pieces, right? Piece over there, piece here over there. Criticise them, piece here over there, piece here over there. That's why it's called the religion of many pieces. Also, then I don't have to say the actual religion, because if you say that, YouTube gets you by the clems. And that's a fact. Can't make jokes about the blokes who sealed the doors shut at the Bataclan Theatre and then brutally, casually dismembered 168 kids. You can't make jokes about them. You've got to make jokes about Jacob Rees-Mogg instead. What's his death count? 0. No, of course it's not. He voted against giving all kids free school meals, so therefore, technically, he's killed way more people than the religion of many pieces. Checkmate, racist. Checkmate. Have it. Newfish got a new Jack Russell pub today. He's mainly black and brown, and there's a small white area, so he's called him Bradford. Well, I like that, except you should have called him Brad Alabad, because every northerner knows that is the correct term for Bradford. Brad Alabad. Although, no, I think it's Bradistan and Manchester is Manchalabad. Yeah, my brother often works in Manchester. Manchalabad. So, yeah, I'd prefer Bradistan, but not a bad gag. Cheers. Right. So I'm not talking about the Saudis, because if you criticise them, my fucking front door will get kicked off its hinges about 60 seconds into the stream. And then you lot will have the pleasure of watching me get fucking folded over that bench and rogered by the SWAT team. So Susan's private army. So we're not going to slag off the Saudis. I just want it saying clear to the camera, I love the followers of the religion of many, many pieces. 100% of them are perfectly reasonable and civilized. And the guy that founded the religion definitely didn't fuck a 10-year-old, definitely didn't do that. And then 200,000 of his mates didn't bum every fucking teenage girl in the 20-mile radius of Bradford. So I just want to say that openly for Susan and anybody who's listening. Yeah, love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. I do. Illiterate goat herders that make up blatant lies, which a fucking child could see. I mean, seriously, the origin story from that heavily plagiarized pile of Shiite. Ironically, that's a sect, isn't it? Shiite. It's a good name for them. It's a good name for them. Ironically, their fucking heavily plagiarized pile of Shiite is even worse than the Mormon one. So what I find fascinating is everybody picks on the Mormons. You know, the Mormons are so nice and polite. Everybody just picks on them. As soon as you start taking the piss out of anybody who's a follower of the desert fable, they all have a pop and go, oh yeah, okay, hell, not as bad as the Mormons. Well, how many people have the Mormons gutted? How many people have the Mormons jumped in a truck in a big French city, drove it down the pavements, and squashed about 400 people like frogs? How many Mormons have done that? So it's a bit weird to me how we just have a pop at them all the time. But the blokes who've got a death toll, from the last 25 years, the death toll from one particular desert fable is in the hundreds of thousands. You know what I mean? It is. That's not me inflating the numbers. If you take the massive atrocities like 9, I'll do it the British way, 11-9, yeah, keeping it real for the majority of the chat. I'm sure Sadwings, he's an Anglophile, he can follow on. If you tally up the murders from 11-9 and 7-7, see, that one works both ways. That's good. And Nice and Madrid and Berlin and Brussels and Manchester and all of them, plus the thousands killed because of religious extremism in places like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Yemen, everywhere. Those boys are in the hundreds of thousands. To say nothing of Boko Haram, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, literally hundreds of thousands of them. So it's weird how the ones who have killed hundreds of thousands of people are not no one has a pot with them, but the love going back to the Mormons. Ooh, the Mormons believe in a fairy tale. All right, then. So you believe an illiterate Bronze Age desert goat herder had the angel Gabriel whisper things into his ear for 13 years, and then he wrote them all down. And that's way more believable than Joseph Smith's gold fucking tablets that clearly never existed. They're both as daft as each other. But like all bullies and cowards, they're just like picking on the weak ones, don't they? That's what it is. I mean, Charlie Hebdo was, as a sometime political cartoonist, Charlie Hebdo was probably the worst, probably the most disgraceful thing that has happened in recent memory for me. Like more than Nice and more even than 11-9. I was personally astounded by that, because that was an attack, not just on, like, September 11th was just another grotesque act of terror that we've come to expect from these people. But Charlie Hebdo was an attack on the very concept of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, keeping the public informed. I think of everything that's happened, worse than the Bataclan, worse than anything else, I think that was the worst thing. And still, it didn't move anyone. They all said, Je suis Charlie, and, you know, we are Charlie Hebdo. But a week after it happened, nobody was. They won't reprint things. They wouldn't reprint the cartoons published in Denmark. Nobody was Charlie. Nobody was. Because the powers that be, the elite and the left-wing woke guardian twats, are cringing cowards and bullies. And like all cringing cowards and bullies, they only pick on the weak. So some fucking dirty, degenerate kiddie fuckers in Manchalabad donkey one into a few hundred kids above kebab shops, and they'll spend a week taking the piss out the Mormons. Mega sensible, that, innit? Let's have a go at the Quakers, they're silly bastards. Well, the Quakers aren't fucking horsing one into the kids, are they? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird how they have a go at the fucking Catholic Church, to be honest. I mean, yeah, okay. Pope's king of the pedos, and he even wears a pedo king hat. But, like, I reckon on volume, the followers of the other desert god have got them beat, haven't they? Got them beat. Probably got a couple of thousand Catholic priests. Probably got a couple of, maybe a dozen victims each or something. I mean, maybe tens of thousands. How many of the grooming gangs in Britain on their own bummed? 100,000? What about all across Europe? It's going to be happening. They're going to be fingering your kids from fucking Paris to Pompeii. Doesn't even exist anymore. Paris to Peking. That does exist. I agree with Christopher Peter Hitchens. You shouldn't use it. It's a stupid thing that we've started this, whereby if you're English, you have to pronounce everybody else's capital how they say it. It's fucking. Where did that come from? Is that another? That's got to be another element of this PC woke self-loathing shit, hasn't it? Because it only happens with us. You only see, like, you never see people from England kicking off because the French call it Londres or whatever, do you? Or is it the Spanish? Don't care. Don't care. There's only a certain amount of space in your brain. I don't want to waste it on a language nobody speaks. Fucking French. That's gone out the window, that. I mean, if you're going to learn a language now, you might as well learn Chinese, Mandarin. France, sacre bleu. I know enough French. I know I'll ask for 2 big beers and I can say sacre fucking bleu. Zoudelaws. I know the important ones in French. I know how to say, excuse me, can you lick my arsehole whilst I fist my mistress? That's the most common sentence uttered in France. So that's the only one you need to know. I surrender and lick my bumhole while I fist my mistress. They're the 2 most common sentences in French. So you don't need to know anymore. You don't need to know. Turn a blind eye to that English teacher shagging a 14-year-old. You must be love, mon ami. You dirty French bastards. That's terrible. Terrible. That is true, Dave. That is true. England is a nation of cowards. And again, though, that's not new. It's not new, Dave. Oh, everyone quotes him. Orwell opined about this in The Road to Wigan Pier. The English have just got no fucking... We've got no interest in kicking up a fuss. I think that stiff upper lip attitude, it's almost harmful in that respect. The British mentality seems to be just tolerate everything. No matter how bad it gets, shut up, have a cup of tea and go to work. It's like, that seems to be the English mentality. Not the Scottish or the Welsh. Because as I've said, and I don't try to offend any Scottish or Welsh in the chat, but you must concede that England is the tallest midget in the room, right? England, Scotland and Wales. England's the tallest midget in the room. We're all pox-ridden, craggy-faced dwarves, but England is the tallest of the pox-ridden, craggy-faced dwarves. Because Scotland and Wales are on another fucking planet. Like, England's pathetic, but Scotland and Wales are mentally ill, clubfoot, one-legged Down syndrome, pathetic. Yeah, we're just like little short, cleft palate anorexics. Scotland and Wales. In fact, no, Wales is little short, cleft palate, clubfoot, mentally ill, AIDS, leper, anorexic. And Scotland is just a puddle of fucking slime. That's the pecking order. Yeah, it's severely mentally ill midget, severely ill mentally ill with AIDS, puddle of sludge. That's the pecking order. It's like, I mean, what percentage of Scotland's fucking sensible? About 30% of them? Yeah, Welsh. Yeah, see, I was giving you a chuck up there, Welsh Warrior. The Welsh are in second place isn't all bad. It's not all bad. At least you're not a puddle. Scotland is a fucking brain in a jar on wheels compared to the 2 mentally ill midgets in front. So look, we're all fucked. The UK is a shambles. It's a shambles. It's an omni-shambles. If you could think of something that we've done right in the last 5 years, fucking write it in the chat. What have we done? What have we done right? Brexit didn't go right. Brexit was a national embarrassment because there was a referendum and everybody voted for it. And then they spent 3 years trying to undo it. So that wasn't a glorious triumph, was it? It was an embarrassment. It was Robert Mugabe-esque. There was a clear question, and a clear answer. And everybody was well informed because everybody got a fucking leaflet through the letterbox and a national debate on the subject for about 4 years. And then when we voted for Brexit, they went, nah, you don't know what you're talking about, lads. That was Robert Mugabe shit. That was Chairman Mao with Robert Mugabe in a fucking headlock. That's what that was. So even Brexit wasn't something to be proud of. We should all be embarrassed. I'd be less embarrassed if I turned my webcam on by accident 20 minutes early and I was pulling myself off, watching fucking very loud homosexual pornography on my smartphone and everybody was watching it. Me sweating bullets with my big hairy nipples out and my cock in my hand. I'd be less embarrassed. I'd be less embarrassed than being a fucking Englishman that voted because we don't live in a democracy. And it's pretty bad in the United States. But the UK is an omnishambles. It's an omnishambles. So there's nothing. Even Brexit's not good. Yeah, well, Gordon, are you happy? Are you happy with what you got? Didn't even get a fucking Brexit. We've got a bino. Not the military shortened version of binoculars. Bino, Brexit in name only. We didn't even get it. It's bollocks. We had a national vote, clear question, a clear answer, and we humiliated ourselves on the world stage. We proved that we haven't got a democracy. We just proved it to everyone. Vote for something, yes and no, black and white question. And then they spend fucking years saying, nah, can't do that. You thick cunts don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if the people going on the TV and saying, sorry, you thick twats don't know what you're talking about, if they at least appeared intelligent themselves. But when you see the collection of fucking puddings that we have running the country, it makes me laugh that they'll go on TV and talk down to people. Did you see that fucking Dippy Bint talking shit to people who were ringing her up saying, oh, I know what newspapers you read. She's a fucking idiot. She could barely string a coherent sentence together and she's calling everyone stupid. People like Diane Abacus, who can't count. She can't do primary school maths, right? But she's the representative. Like, she's the one. It should be the elite, the cleverest amongst you that goes on the television and talks. And we get the thickest bunch of cunts you can possibly imagine. So, of course, we're an embarrassment. We're an embarrassment. Do you think the Chinese are shitting themselves watching the collection of absolute spastics that run the United Kingdom? I can't believe they haven't invaded. If I was President Xi, I'd just invade. I mean, what they're going to do? They haven't got enough ammunition. If every single round you fired hit a Chinaman, you wouldn't have enough ammo in the whole of the UK to win a scrap against the Chinese. We'd be down to our Leathermans after the first 2 hours. You know what I mean? The Royal Marines, paratroopers in the Royal Marines are pretty nails. What they're going to do? Fight them with fucking foul language and pointy sticks? Our military's a joke. The country's a fucking shambles. We can't do anything right. We can't get the buses to run on time. You can't get a train. The NHS is a joke. What do we do good? The only thing we do good is make good beer, which is good because you'll need that when you're drinking yourself to death because that's all we do. I can't think of anything else we do good. I even noticed, I think I told you my missus pointed this out, at the Olympics, everyone was going, oh yeah, we punched above our weight. If you look at all the stuff we're good at, it's all the things that you're either A, it's not really a sport, or B, you sat on your fucking ass. Have you noticed that? What are we good at? Rowing, sat on your fucking ass. Cycling, sat on your fucking ass. Curling, not a sport. It's like anything really good, a manly sport like boxing. We're shite at that. We're either sat on our ass, playing darts. That's not a sport, is it? Fucking darts. Curling darts and sitting on your ass. That's what we're good at. Brilliant. I love that. Yeah. So we're class us. Oh no, the pie eating contest. We're good at that. World champions at that. I mean, I've told you. if it's really true that fat-bottomed girls make the world go round, then the city of Glasgow is responsible for the continuation of the world spinning on its axis, because that city on its own has got the most fat-bottomed girls in fucking Europe. If you walk around Glasgow, it's dead weird. They've reversed the old axiom in Glasgow, because you see loads of rake-thin men, and they're all walking around with big, fat hoppers. I haven't seen a bird in Glasgow who isn't 20 clem. It's just fucking weird city. Weird city. Oh, David's from there. Yeah. Walk into a bar in Glasgow. All the birds are about 20 stone. The birds are all 20 stone, and the men are skinny as fuck, and they've got no teeth. Bar in Glasgow, there'll be 10 sets of feet and fucking 8 teeth at the bar. So it's just queer. Boycott the elections. Oh yeah, Tyson Fury, he's quite good. I was specifically on about the Olympics there, though, not just one random heavyweight fighter. All blokes are on meth. It's probably true, but I'm from Middlesbrough, so I don't want to throw stones in a glass house. And if you've ever been to Middlesbrough, holy shit! Well, I've showed you guys some videos of the smackheads in Middlesbrough. You can't move for smackheads in Borough. Absolutely swimming in them. So again, maybe that's another tick in my box of what I'm talking about. In that Britain is a total shambles and it's fucked. I read as well recently that 51% of the UK is now an active drain on resources. 51%. So we're just a joke. We're the sick man of fucking the Western world now. R. Kelly's getting off, eh? Let's have a look at that. Chicago prosecutor will drop sex abuse charges against Kelly. How bent is the legislature in Chicago? Have you guys followed any of that? So I'm talking about was just being like really, really corrupt. Chicago is as bent as fucking Elton John's cock. Like that big fat heffalump who works as the chief prosecutor in Chicago, just lets off people. If they're black and the left wing, they just let you off. It's like, she broke the law. Yeah, but she's black, isn't she? Yeah. Does she vote Democrat? Yeah, I'll let her off then. Fuck it. Jesse Smollett. Yeah, can't prosecute him. Why not? Well, black, isn't he? Oh yeah, and he's an actor. Chicago's bent as fuck. If R. Kelly was called fucking Robert Kelly from Ireland, yeah, if he was a pasty ginnock from Ireland, then he'd have got off. They'd be bugging him. Glitter wouldn't have what? They'd have done him in Chicago because he's called Gary Glitter and he's white. If he was called Ladashante fucking Shaniqua Ayatollah Sistani or whatever the fuck they're called, then he'd have got off, definitely. So Chicago's just an absolute shithole, and the woman who runs it, Lori Lightbulbhead, has got the IQ of a fucking chicken McNugget. So you can see why Chicago's a shambles. What else have we got? George Santos. Yeah, he's a lying bastard. Man caught on camera stealing a gorilla statue. Don't know why it's made of bronze. Maybe he's going to weigh it in. Surely that was in Middlesbrough. Pinching statues to weigh him in at the scrappy. No, it doesn't look like it. Searching for a man who stole this gorilla statue. Fucking hell, looks heavy. Maryland. Grilling stuff. 10 grand. I think I'd have a statue for 10 grand. Italian woman punched and spat on India flight. It's a bit. Is this a slow day today or something? This is the homepage. It's a slow day today. No one really cares. I mean, I've always slagged off the BBC's complete refusal to follow actual news. But look at that. That's the homepage. We've got Saudi shit, Ukraine, famous shit, a politician telling lies. Fucking hell, that's not even news. And then we're down to bloke stealing a gorilla statue. Is that where we're at today on the BBC? Absolute shite. Fucking news. There must be some news. Italian woman punched and spat on India flight. A crew of an Indian airline tied an Italian woman to her seat. Well, you know what those fiery Italians are like? If they ran out of Prosecco, she'll have been fucking a Mamma Mia bastardo. So that's not really news either, is it? Everyone knows Italian women are a bit fiery. Let's click UK, see if there's anything good in England in specific. Teachers prepare to strike. Fuck me. See, but now I'm back to the same subject, aren't I? Britain is the sick man of Europe. Is there anyone not on strike? In recent months, I've seen nurses, teachers, firemen. So that's got to be about fucking 30% of the workforce in the UK, hasn't it? Because the NHS is the biggest employer in the whole of the UK. So we've got the nurses on strike, the teachers on strike, the firemen on strike. Is anyone going to work? Anyone? Guess not. Key witness found in a dog walker search. Hillsborough, fucking Scousers whinging. How long ago was that? I told you, right, this is something that irritates me about Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, being chippy and northern, has got that same victim gene that they've got in Liverpool, because they love a whinge in Middlesbrough. Love it. The world's always against everyone. They love pausing on the front of the Evening Gazette, the paper like that. As I've told you, I coined the phrase Gazette face, right? It's because every day the front of the Gazette's got a family doing this, looking fucking outraged. Pull your Gazette face. And then it's like, how dare they stop my benefits? I can't feed my 11 kids by 10 fucking dads. And they're there, outraged. Fucking Gazette face. The Scousers are the worst. I mean, again, you can call me a cunt if you like, fellas. I don't care. I don't care. I'm sick and tired of reading about Hillsborough. Does that make me a wanker? I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying the poor bastards deserve to die. I'm not saying anything like that. But as someone who firmly believes in the mantra of move on with your fucking life, it does my head in that they won't shut up about it. Like, seriously, it was a tragedy and a load of people died. Well, all right, but how many fucking times do we need to go on about it? Surely this is not the first time that there's been a headline. Families profoundly failed, say the police. How many times have the police apologised? 10. I remember this fucking story comes up every bastard year. Well, Liz, you know what I'm talking about. Liz knows what I'm talking about. Sensible Scousers, which is, like I said, 30% of the city. I don't hate Scousers. I'm an individualist. I'm an actual liberal person. I'm a Lockean liberal. I take everybody as an individual. So I don't hate Scousers. But 60% of the city are fucking morons. Doesn't mean I hate Scousers. That means 40% of them are a lot of time for, right? Same with Geordies and people from Middlesbrough. I'm sick of hearing about it. So it's ridiculous. Look, can we move on? That is definitely not. Peter's got no sound and he can't lip read. Try reloading it, Peter. I'm sure I've got sound because you're the only person to moan about it. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to sound like a prick, but seriously, I'm not the type of person who thinks it's good. I mean, I'll tell you what. Have you seen the pictures on social media? And again, this might piss off some of you hardcore veterans that like all the syrupy stuff. I don't, right? I lost personal friends of mine in Afghanistan and Iraq. Don't go on about it. Because people want you to get on with your life, don't they? If there really is a fucking afterlife, there must be nothing worse than looking down and seeing people whinging and mewling and fucking sobbing, right? And I hate it when I see these social media posts of a woman on like the dead relatives' graves. You know what I'm talking about. Let me Google it. US woman on soldier's grave. Here we are. This type of shit. Look, and they love that at The Guardian. They love it at The Guardian. Here we are. Yeah, that shit, right? And I've seen worse ones than that. I've seen like massive picnic table with like a big US flag and the woman and the kid sat there having a fucking full-on chat with the dead kid, with the dead soldier. And because this is a rational channel filled with rational people, you can hear what I'm saying as you can with my criticism of the Hillsborough thing without flipping out and crying, right? Because obviously, being a veteran and working alongside many people that are no longer with us, of course, I've got sympathy for them. But I don't like the overdoing of the syrupy emotion because I believe in stoicism and a stiff upper lip. And what I think is Mary McHugh needs to work to get over it, and a year later, think about getting back in the dating game. That's what I think you should do. If I drop down dead today of a fucking brain hemorrhage, I like to think that my missus would be getting banged by a sailor in Las Vegas in a year's time, right? That is called moving on. This stuff, I don't think it's good for you. After my mum died, we never once went back to the crematorium and like put flowers down and, you know, had a chat with a fucking spirit because it doesn't, that's not a good thing. To be trapped in grief isn't a good thing. And that's why I don't like it. So again, I'm preaching to the converted, aren't I? Because nobody in my chat is daft, woke, left-wing shit for brains who's going to go, oh my God, he's pissing on the graves of dead soldiers, man. Oh my God, he's glad all them working class scousers got killed. No, I'm just saying, I'm sick. I'm sick of watching this syrupy, whiny shit because it reminds me of the type of thing the Guardian readers come up with all the time. by a Matlow. No, I want my missus getting fucking rinsed by like 4 Matlows at once. I want her airtight. I want airtight Saturday night. Woohoo, right? In Vegas. I'd be looking down going, fucking get in. You enjoy yourself, love. I like to think that, you know, if the roles were reversed, our lass would want me getting chewed off by some Victoria's Secret model, right? Because that's how when you love someone, you want them to move on and get on with their life. Enjoy themselves, right? So that's what I'm talking about. This stuff, not good. So move on. Grieve in private and then move on. Don't go on Instagram. Don't post photos like that on Twitter. And most importantly, if you're a fucking Scouser and you lost a relative or a friend at Hillsborough, it was 30 fucking years ago, right? Fucking shocking. But seriously, get on with your life. Get on with your life. Poor bastards. If there is an afterlife and they're looking down, they must be like, you boring cunts. I'm here, you know, trying to relax on this fucking cloud. And every day you whinging cunts are at it. Just get on with your lives, lads. It'll be good for you. It'll be good for you. Right? Right, I'll do one more. What else have we got? Protesters convicted of attacking a waxwork. Here we are. And what they're going to get? What they're going to get? Fucking £50 fine. Just Stop Oil protesters convicted of attacking King Waxwork. 2 Just Stop Oil protesters must pay Madame Tussauds $3,500 per compo. Well, that's nothing to them. It's not even a punishment to a middle-class arsehole, is it? Because all the people who work for Just Stop Oil, and I use the terms correctly, work, because they're all getting paid, or paid fucking activists or full-time professional activists, these wankers. Fining them's not a punishment, is it? I want them sharing a cell with the fucking Bloods and the Crips. That's what I want. I'm sick of this shit. What's that? Can you give a shout out, please? Who to? I can do them, but I'm not very good at multitasking, so I rarely read all the chat because there's 600 people in there. Yeah, go on then. Just because I've seen that one, you can have one. Who do you want to shout out for? You? Shout out. There you go. To Joe. I don't think that really does much, but I never understood people ringing up the radio and doing that. Can you give a shout out to Bob from fucking Leeds? Yeah, all right, mate. What do you get out of that? If you said, can you come and mow my lawn this Sunday? That I could understand. Bootneck, can you come and put some shelves up in my fucking conservatory? This makes sense. But shout out, I don't really get it. Let me sip my tea. I'm getting a bit hoarse. Right. So that is bollocks. That's not a punishment. Getting fined when you've got as much money as these twats, it's not a punishment. Elise, you knew she wouldn't have a normal name because she's a middle-class arsehole. And I'm surprised he's called Tom and not fucking Tarquin. Denied criminal damage, but were convicted. Good. Some staff had to go to work for an extra 5 hours. So there's another point that everybody makes who's criticising these spoiled middle-class arseholes. A lot of the things they do, they're just stitching up working-class people, aren't they? Because some of them are quite disgusting. You must remember that student who, like, poured human shit all over her, like a statue. Can you remember that one? I think it might have even been worse than that. It might have been like a war memorial or something. But when you get some middle-class soy boy pouring shit on a monument, who do you think's got to clean it up? A working-class arsehole? A stiff, a blue-collar stiff has got to come and clean your shit up. So not only are they repulsive, detestable, ignorant, Guardian-reading arseholes, they're stitching up blue-collar working-class people when they do the little fucking protests. She got locked away. Did she? I hope so. I hope she's eating mashed bananas fucking 7 days a week for the next 6 months. See how she gets on there. Yeah, Captain Tom it was. Fucking slut. You raddled hooer. Pouring human shit on a fucking memorial. And you, working class council employee, you've got to go and wipe it up. Oh, that's enjoyable. Fucking nice one. I hate them. I hate these middle class wankers. So, yeah, fuck them. And they get treated with kid gloves. They either let them off altogether or they get treated with kid gloves because, as I've told you many times, we're living in a fucking upside down clown world. And Lady Justice isn't blind anymore. She doesn't wear a blindfold. She wears a big daft pussy hat and a Orange Man Bad t-shirt. And she looks at the crime, looks at the court documents, and then looks at you. And if you've got the wrong coloured skin or the wrong political beliefs, she will bend you over and rod you with a fucking set of scales, with the pointy end of the scales. And if you walk and you're a left-wing protester and your name's Tarquin and I'm a protester and I read The Guardian, then you'll walk because the justice system is a fucking joke. And as I was talking about at the beginning of this stream, it's just one more thing that is completely fucked in the United Kingdom. Nothing works. Nothing works. The voting system doesn't work. The elections don't work. The NHS doesn't work. The police, the fire, and the fire departments don't work. The NHS doesn't work. The courts don't work. The judiciary doesn't work. Police fucking don't work. The firemen are all on strike. You can't even buy any bastard eggs, can you? Everything's fucked. Everything's fucked. And that is Britain. Nice one. Woke Britain. Get woke, go broke. No, get woke, live in a fucking shit pit. That doesn't rhyme. Get woke, country is a joke. That should be the mantra, because that's what we've fallen into. And the United States is only a couple of steps behind with all of the machinations that have gone on under Biden for the last couple of years. We're totally fucked, all of us. Get woke, country becomes a joke. We're all heading to hell in a handbasket, and at least it gives me plenty of material. And we can have a giggle. Yeah, I'm going to call it, I think. I thrashed myself at the gym today. Sweat about 8 pints out, I think. I was fucking soaking when I got in. And I'm obviously a little bit dehydrated, so I'll call it there. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I will be back. I might do a stream on Saturday. No, I'm going to Santa Barbara for the weekend, drinking with my wife's friends. So I'm staying away for the weekend. I'll be back Sunday, Monday. I guess I won't be streaming until Monday, but I will make a couple of videos before we leave. I'll decide what they're going to be about when I do it. I'll pop a few videos up before I bugger off, and I will see you all for a stream on Monday. All right? Enjoy them. Enjoy the rest of your week. Keep smiling. If anything else, it is funny. The worse things get, the funnier it is. So, well, it is Clown World after all, right? It's Clown World. Of course, it's going to be funny. Let's laugh at the circus together. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate the very tiny minority of you that bought me a pint. In fact, I'm going to do a draw for you, lads. I think there's only about 4 people bought me a drink in the last fucking 3 months. So one of you is getting some art. I'll draw it this week. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll pull your name out of that next week. All right, cheers for watching, everybody. Thanks a lot. Toodle pip. See you later.